welcome back again to the 80s Movie Den. So for this episode, I'm just going to talk about collecting. Why people collect, why I collect, how my collection journey started, and where it currently sits. I wanted to get a professional's point of view, so I went online and I took down a note. This is a psychologist's view. Of course, it's only one psychologist's view, but when I read it, it's very technical, but it makes a lot of sense, and I could relate to it with some parts of it. So I want to read it to you, and let me know in the comments if it makes sense to you as well. This is from artbasel.com. So a collection can offer life support over time, a means of trading, a basis for community and communicating, a stockpile of wealth, and a mechanism for self-identity. So there's a few things in there that I can relate to. In particular, the life support piece. I find that I've found that over time collecting has been very therapeutic. It's an escape. It's a means to detach yourself from reality, from sometimes harsh reality. It's a way to go somewhere where you feel safe, where you feel pure joy. You can tap into your childhood innocence. You can go to a place where things are more simple and easier. I think that's why nostalgia is such a major aspect of collecting. It's one of the main reasons why I collect. It's for nostalgia. The whole foundation of this channel was built around my nostalgia and my attachment to popular culture of the 1980s. So as far as me personally, my collecting journey started probably back in late 1999. I was a Star Wars fan. I still am, although I don't collect Star Wars, but that's when I started collecting. I started to come into a little bit more money in terms of financial independence. The Phantom Menace had just come out, and I started collecting some Star Wars memorabilia. Now keep in mind, back then there was no Facebook Marketplace. I was not shopping on Amazon. There was eBay, but I hadn't, at that time, I didn't have an eBay account. So really it was pounding the pavement. I'd go to garage sales, yard sales. I'd go to my local department store. I'd often go to thrift stores. There's in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, there's a store called the Value Village. I'd often go in there and I'd find old VHS tapes, old books, bags of action figures. And so Star Wars was my focus, and all I collected was Star Wars. And that was probably one of my favorite collections. And I think it was because I didn't have a lot of options. We didn't have smartphones. So I didn't have my phone constantly on me. And it didn't feel like this anxiety-ridden rat race to try to collect constantly. It was more of an organic, slow-moving collection. I collected Star Wars for over 10 years. I stopped collecting in around late 2009. I stopped collecting Star Wars. Things in my life had changed. I was going in a different direction. I was moving and changing jobs, and I just didn't really have time, and it wasn't a priority. So I stopped collecting Star Wars. And I actually stopped collecting altogether for a few years. And then after Star Wars, probably around 2015, I started collecting, I think it was 2015, I started collecting Hot Wheels and die-cast cars. And that was originally what this channel was founded on, until I changed it to what it is now. But Hot Wheels, die-cast cars, my room was all full of die-cast, 164 scale, 118, 124 scale. I'm still a car guy. I love cars. I love motorcycles. Huge fan. And I did that for about 3.5 years. And I got tired of that hobby, partially because it was crazy to see grown adults going into Walmart and literally ripping like repeats, like car after car after car off the pegs. There'd be kids there trying to grab a car, and these adults were like literally taking them to just resell them, and you know, sell them for 2 or 3 times the amount online or wherever. And I saw that, and I thought that was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of gross to me. I just thought, you know, grown men, you know, like these are toy cars, really, when you think about it. And so that was one of the reasons why I stopped collecting. They were getting harder to find. They were starting to get more expensive, and I think I just had reached my point. You know, I kind of tapped out of collecting die-cast cars. And then I started to realize after that I was kind of just a collector. I just liked to collect things, and whatever kind of tickled my fancy, so to speak, that's what I'd go for. And once I got it in my head that I wanted to collect something, I went hard and fast, and accumulate, keep that collection for 6 months to a year, get sick and tired of looking at it, and move on to something else. So I've done that over the years, and you know, some of the items that I've never bought and sold are physical media. I have been collecting VHS tapes over the last 2 years or so, but my DVD movies, my records, my CDs, those have stayed with me for years, you know, since the early 2000s. I've never gotten rid of those. Those are an important part of my life. And maybe I don't look at those things as a collection, but, you know, one professor once said, if you have, you know, 3 or more of something, then that's technically a collection. You know, if you open a closet and you have, you know, 7 or 8 pairs of shoes, that's basically a collection, right? So, but yeah, then I stopped, you know, I stopped collecting Hot Wheels, and then what else? I got into another collection, and I can't even remember what it is anymore, because I've gotten into so many collections over the years. But over the course of 20 years, I've just collected different things. And most recently, I've gotten back into sports card collecting. And I did mention in yesterday's video that I was gonna talk about, you know, going in a different direction. And I have essentially put a pause on all my movies and movie collecting. I put a hard pause on it. Not because I'm gonna stop collecting movies and I'm never gonna collect movies ever again. That's not the case. I will continue to collect movies here and there, but like I mentioned, I have so many movies that I need to watch and need to review and talk about with you. And sports card collecting has kind of found its way back into my life. I've collected sports cards off and on for many, many years from childhood. And this summer, early this summer, I started collecting cards again and absolutely fell in love with it. I feel like it's that same feeling I got when I was collecting Star Wars. Even though I have a means to collect a lot easier and faster because I have my cell phone and I have eBay and I have Amazon and I have Marketplace, I'm just finding that this sports card collection is sustaining me in a way that nothing really has. And nothing against the channel and against anybody watching, but I'm not collecting for the channel, and I'm not collecting sports cards for likes, for subscribers. I'm collecting sports cards for me, and I think that's why I'm loving it so much. And it has that same kind of organic feel. I think it's something that I've finally, at my age, I'm 46. It's going to be a lifelong collection. It's going to be, it's not going to be a rat race collection. It's not going to be a rush to accumulate and then get rid of it. This is going to be a lifelong journey. And so I will highlight it from time to time on this channel because quite a bit of the cards that I have now are older cards. Some of the sports memorabilia that I've put on my walls is older stuff, is 80s stuff, retro stuff. So I will highlight it. In my upcoming room tour early in the new year, you'll see some changes in the 80s movie den. It's still very much the 80s movie den. There's a lot of movie related memorabilia in here, but it's changed. There's a section of the room that has completely changed, and you'll see that in the next few months. I've stopped collecting action figures. I've stopped collecting toys, essentially. Not that I have anything against that or anybody that does that. If that's your thing and that's what you love to do, have at it. You know, that's the beauty of individuals and collecting. I still watch YouTube videos of people that have statues and action figure collections because I love them. And I've up until recently, I've collected them myself. But I wanted to just go with something different. I wanted to go in a different direction with this room. I felt like it was starting to become a cluttered mess. I felt like I was starting to just hoard things and pile things up. And that's really not me, as much as I love to collect. I love order, and I love structure, organization. To me, that's very important. A room has to look, it doesn't have to look like a museum, but it also doesn't have to look like when you're walking around, you're tripping over hazards. So the way I have it right now is probably the best it's ever looked. There's not a lot, like I said, I'm done with the toys, I'm done with the statues, and I'm done with movies for now. But again, I've got a lot of videos and a lot of content still to share, and that new part of my room as well. I hope that those of you that have subscribed to my channel, I hope you find an appreciation in some of the changes that I've made in the room, and maybe I will gain some new subscribers with the direction I've gone in. There's more variety in the room now. It's not just movies and 80s pop culture, so it stretches beyond that. So basically, that's my personal life journey of collecting. So yeah, I mean, I collect mainly for nostalgic purposes and to escape, you know, the harsh realities of life. Life can be very trying at times, and I feel that if you don't have some sort of a healthy vice, and I emphasize healthy, whether it's, you know, you go to the gym or you play an instrument, or you know, you collect within your means, because that could be unhealthy too if you get to the point where you're just starting to pile up a credit card debt, or you're not eating the way you normally do because you got to buy that, you know, that sports card box or that Hot Toys action figure. It's for some people, it's a great vice. It's a great escape. And I love YouTube for that reason. I absolutely love people's passion for the things that they love to collect. I love watching the passion that they have for showing off their rooms. By no means do I look at it as a showcase of, you know, egotistical people that just want to show off all the stuff they have. I don't look at it that way. I look at it at people just wanting to innocently share what brings them joy in their life. And that's how I view it. I view it with a healthy envy. I'm not jealous, I'm not envious. I love watching people's collections. I loved the room tour that we recently saw from our good friend Jason Nutt over at the New 80s revolution, the evolution of the revolution. Welcome back, by the way, Jason. We're all happy to see you. So yeah, you know, just a quick shout out to some of the people that I like to watch. Stephen Brown, awesome to see you again. Stephen Brown's gone in a different direction too, and more power to him. You got to do what makes you happy, and if you're genuine about it, the followers will grow, and the other followers that are with you will stay with you. Who else? The Cassette Phase, another great channel, another new and up and coming channel. Perry at the Cassette Phase, absolutely awesome channel, great content. Follow him if you're into retro stuff or just, you know, good presentation. Who else do we have? Oh my gosh, it's escaped me now. But I'll put it back in. I'll put it in. Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. But anyways, yeah, I'll put it in the. I'll put it in caption. So, but anyways, I'm dragging. I'm rambling on. I'm dragging this video. Those of you that are still hanging out with me and listening to me ramble, I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's just like I said, collecting is, people collect for different reasons. They collect for nostalgic purposes, they collect for financial gain, they collect to leave a legacy behind to their family members. And you know, whatever the reason you collect, as long as you're happy doing it, that's really all that matters. What's important is that you collect for you and for the joy that it brings you. And if it keeps you healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, then you're doing the right thing. So anyways, thanks for listening to me. Those of you that are new to the channel, that are checking it out, thank you very much for joining. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and this has been the 80s Movie Den, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, it's the 80s Movie Den back again. I remembered who I wanted to plug, and I can't, forgive me, please. We're living in the 80s with Smash Ventura. I cannot believe that your name escaped me, Smash. The best 80s channel on YouTube by far. It is a professional job. And if you haven't seen Smash Ventura's channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. We're living in the 80s with Smash Ventura. Production level, top notch. 5-star production level. Sorry, Smash. Sometimes my mind just wanders, and that's what happens. Anyways, I remembered. Catch you on the next one.